Hello, everybody. Now I'm gonna just give this is for the elementary school students because the adults they're not gonna be able to accept it. The college students they're not gonna be able to accept it. So the only ones that's gonna be able to accept what I'm about to show are the little kids because they're so innocent. They remain untainted with the BS most of us adults have become infected with. And they'll see simply that democracy in America is not even something that Americans support. Okay? So, let me show you. The total American population of America.
In 2019, the population of the United States of America, United States, was 328,239,523.
Okay? Total number of American voters in the last presidential election. Okay, they say 239 million people are eligible to vote in the 2020 presidential election, and roughly 66.1% of them submitted ballots, totaling about 158 million. Biden received about 81 million. Trump about 74 million. And other candidates, including Joe Jorgensen and Howie Hawkins, about 3 million votes. So right there, folks, the total population of Americans that are eligible is 239 million. Right? Now, we go right back for 1 second. 239, right? 239. Let's go back to total population of Americans. Total population of Americans was 328 million Americans. So fifth graders, how many Americans were not eligible to vote? It's the first math equation. Here's the second. Let's go back. Let's do total number of American voters again. Wikipedia is our resource. And we're down here at 150 million. See, there's the 239 million people were eligible to vote in the 2020 presidential election. 66.1% of them submitted ballots. So that is 158 million. Now, right, 158 million Americans went to the ballot. Biden received allegedly 81 million. Trump received 74 million, totaling 158 million. While at the same token, there's 300 and 328.2 million Americans. Now let's pull out the calculators, kids, because the adults, they're not gonna like this. They're really not gonna like this. It's so simple, but it's just, what else to do with it? Okay, so we got 328 200. Hell yeah. Okay. Total population 328,200,000 estimated Americans, right? Minus the 158 million that voted, leaving a total of 170,200,000 Americans, right? We live in a democracy, right? And they say majority rules. Okay? Now, may I add, they admit this was a historical voting turnout. So that means this is the most Americans that ever voted in any election. To date, any election. The most Americans that ever voted was the Trump-Biden presidential war. So now I say, with over 170 million, more than 50% of the entire American population, right? More than 50% of us don't even give a fuck. Literally, don't even give a fuck. More of us don't give a fuck about this presidential system. Now, if 158 million people created such a problem at the ballot, what would happen if this 170,200,000 Americans, what if we decide we want to do our own thing? Or we want to try something completely different? Since it only takes 158 million Americans to really claim true how should I say, compliance with what we call the American government. It's profound right there. It's right there in the numbers. More of us are not even associated with none of these processes. Have you ever considered that? Adults, Republicans, Democrats? Have you ever considered that there is more Americans that are sitting back that really, really don't support the American government or its processes? Listen, understand what you're looking at. You're looking at math that is clear and precise. There are more of us than those that don't vote, or that do vote, I should say. And I am one of those that vote. So I am one of the 158 million Americans that voted. But now I'm realizing that I could be in a whole state and nobody may have voted in that state. Especially if it's a state of 3 million people, 5 million people. Look, if it's a state with 5 million people, you can theoretically be the only voter in that state. I'm just saying, it seems kind of strange. It seems kind of strange that 200,000 Americans live under a governing rulership that is split between 150 million Americans. 150 Americans decide the fate of 328 million Americans. There's something completely wrong with that. Something completely wrong with that. And I don't think it's a political system that can fix it. This is our highest level of political government, and they don't know how to capture the mindset of most of us. They don't know how to capture they don't know how to convince 170 million Americans that they how should I say, their voices will be heard. So when you hear some people that are really pissed off about society, you understand it from what I just showed you, that you could be one of those 170 million Americans that don't give a fuck about elections. Okay, so again, I hope this was something that you could relate to, because I'd hate it to be misquoted, but like the bro from down the block said, Men lie, numbers don't. What was the total population of America in 2020?
331,002,651 people. According to Worldometer, the United States 2020 population is estimated at 331,002,651 people at mid-year according to UN data. The United States population is equivalent to 4.25% of the total world population.
You can do the same thing. And see, we went up. We went up, say, about 3 million. In 1 year, we went up 3 million people. Right? We lost people, but look, humanity still flourished, even during the COVID. Look, we still went up. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. COVID was 2020. What was the total population of America in 2018?
327,167,434.
What was the total population of America in 2019?
328,239,523.
See? Still upward. What was the total population of America in 2020?
331,002,651 people. According to Worldometer, the United States 2020 population is estimated at 331,002,651 people at mid-year according to UN data. The United States population is equivalent to 4.25% of the total world population.
What is the present total of the American population as of today, 2025, April 2025? Oops. Got in there the wrong information. Okay, so the current population of the United States of America is 332,579,690 Americans as of Sunday, April 25th, 2021. And the reason why I give you this, because this is like, again, humanity is still flourishing at a time when COVID is supposed to be decimating society. Now, as you've seen, from 2018 to this present day, humanity has went up 5 million Americans, 5 million babies, 5 million in 3 years. 18, 19, 20, 21. 3.5 years. All right? That's why this push for this vaccine seems suspicious. But my point, which was started in trying to reveal that the bulk of Americans do not participate in the political processes of America. How is that? How is that? How is that? And how is less than half of us dictating policy that, if we had to go with the concept of democracy, we do away with politics? We actually abolish politics, because now it's not just 170. It's, let's take this number, right? Let's go back to the calculator. Let's clear it. Let's paste it. Let's take away that 150 million American voters and see what is truly there. So, as you can see, that is this number right here. This number right there. This number right here is the total number of Americans that don't believe in this political system, that don't believe in democracy. They choose not to participate. Oh, you people at the voting polls, if your head was scratching just because of 150 million Americans coming to the polls, what would become of this? What would become if just that 74 million, if the 74 million down here decided to come up here, creating a new total of 236,000 Americans, then that would be democracy, because the majority of us would be in participation with this present day system. But based on the numbers, come on, most people would understand. The numbers would suggest that America doesn't even support its own political system. So you politicians enjoy the fact that you have earned a seat, even though it's not for the masses that you may have been elected by. You know? That's why it's important that you guys keep your words in check, because the numbers suggest sooner or later the people will get fed up. And it's going to take more than 158 million Americans, which y'all already split. You already got them split right there. So, because this is a divided nation right here, 158 million Americans is already living the divided nation. at least 174,579,690 are living in the more, how should I say, unified house, in which they all agree, we all agree that guess what? It's full of shit. Politicians are full of shit. So again, 2 math problems solved. One was the number of Americans that truly support this democratic process and these political shows, as well as a healthy, robust human family that is continuing to bear fruit, spring new life, you know. Yeah, over 500,000 Americans, Americans have died from COVID. But rejoice, in just 1 year, right? In 1 year, our numbers went up from 328 to 331. 331. We lost 540,000 Americans, but we bear witness to the birth of 3 million new babies, American souls, human souls, during the same time. So again, men lie, but numbers don't. I'm Antoine Barksdale, and this was my PSA.